Hi, it's Bernadette. Thanks for joining me again. I watched Emily Noel do a video that was brands that excite her and brands that don't. And she got that from a tag another person made, and she tagged herself. And since I don't know any YouTubers or anything, I'm tagging myself on that because there are a lot of brands that really excite me that I'm excited about, and then there's brands that I'm just like, what are you thinking? The brand that I'm most excited about right now is the Sephora collection. They've had some really great products in the past, some products that I like right now, and there are some products that they've just come out with that I cannot wait till I finish what I have in that category so that I can buy the one from the Sephora collection. The one thing that I feel Sephora collection really blew people out of the water with was their cream lip stain liquid lipstick. I think that's one of the best liquid lipsticks on the market, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. What I fell in love with was their 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation. I fell in love with their Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer recently, and then what really excited me was that they just came out with this full line of skincare products that is clean skincare, paraben free and all of that stuff. So they've got some really good looking stuff, and I want to try it. I want to try it and see how it is, and I'm excited about that. They've got their Black Magic makeup removing cloths, and I have something similar to this that's the Ulta brand, and I really like that. They actually really work. To me, it's more environmentally friendly and better for your skin to use something like this than to constantly be using, micellar water and eye makeup remover and everything. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited about the Sephora collection. The next one that I am really excited about lately is Jeffree Star. I know there's been drama with him in the past and things like that, but I think that every single person has something in their life that's bad. Something happened to them, or they did something, or they weren't nice to somebody, or they did something sketchy. Everybody has that. Everybody. And anybody who says that they don't, they've never done anything wrong to anybody, is either delusional, an effing liar, or a saint. And they are very few and far between. Everybody has done something wrong or insensitive or inappropriate at some point in their life. To condemn people for that just kind of disgusts me. I've been watching him for a while, and I've watched his products, and I have not bought any of his products yet, especially because it's my no by year. But when he came out with this Blue Blood palette, if it wasn't my no by year, I'd have bought that thing. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I love the packaging design on that. I love coffins. I love creepy vampire thing. I love the colors in it, and I love the packaging. I don't know if I'd use anything else in his Blue Blood collection, but I think that he, in his whole ramp up to this, from his first liquid lipsticks to now, he has made some pretty incredible things. I think he's got a great mind when it comes to cosmetics, and I hope that he just continues to go up and up and up. Everyone's always on a witch hunt. I think it's human nature in a way to do those kind of things, but at the same time, I always want people to look at themselves before they start pointing fingers, because a lot of times what people hate in others are things that they actually hate about themselves. His products are something that excite me. I am excited about Jeffree Star's products. Another person's products, more stuff he makes, the more I get excited about it, is Ole Henriksen. I loved his Sheer Transformation line. I can't wait to use up some of the stuff I have so that I can buy that again. And now he's come out with this Retin Alt line and the Banana Bright line that includes a primer. And I cannot wait to use up my eye creams and primers so I can buy more Ole Henriksen. I am excited about Ole Henriksen. Super excited. I have been excited about Lancome since 1989. My friend Bridget and I used to always do cat eye liner, and I was always using this liquid liner, and she's like, you gotta try this pen from Lancome. It will make you do your cat eyes so much easier. And so in 1989, I saved up my money from working at Shakey's Pizza and I bought my Lancome liquid eyeliner, and I loved that thing. I don't remember what exactly it was called, and it wasn't the blackest black. I was a little disappointed about that. I couldn't get the black of my liquid from that, but it was still so easy to use. Here we are 30 years later, and I am just as excited about Lancome as I was in 1989. There's products that I absolutely love that I will always probably buy. The Sills Booster XL. I use that almost every time I put on makeup, and every time I don't use it, I regret it. My favorite face brush is a Lancome brush. My favorite eye makeup remover is. And then they keep coming out with things that I want to try. Like right now they've got this Prime It Boost It eyeshadow primer that I want to try. And they've got their Ebates Pro Pore Eraser Primer. I want to try that. I guess it was maybe 2012 is the first time I tried something from NARS. And I've been in love with NARS ever since, and I am excited about NARS. I am excited about their new palettes. If it wasn't my No by Year, I probably would have bought them. The product that I fell in love with was their matte lip pencils, Bettina and Valkyrie. Those are my two colors. I used up my Bettina before my No by Year, and I still have a Valkyrie. And I've just been constantly rebuying those, and I use them up. Now they just come out with a bunch more colors. The last brand that excites me is Besame. And Besame excites me for so many different reasons. I love vintage stuff. I love old Hollywood. I love the 1920s. I love the silent film era. I have a big problem with Disney. I am excited about these things from Besame, but at the same time, I'm just like, why does it have to be Disney? Disney did something, I think it was 2015, that I really disagree with on a moral and ethical and political level. They had a bunch of their employees. They were laying them off, and they forced their employees to train their replacements with the threat that they were not going to get their pension. If they were laying them off, why would they need replacements? It wasn't that there was a lack of work. There was no lack of work. What they were doing was they laid off these hundreds of employees so that they could abuse the foreign worker program. So they have instead of having a technical employee who is an American doing this job, they laid off the American and are abusing the foreign worker program with the 90-day shuffle. So they have one Chinese worker come for 90 days, and then he goes back, and another Chinese worker replaces him for 90 days, and he goes back, and so that's what Disney is doing now for these technical employees. And so there was no reason to lay them off. They just wanted to save some money by abusing this foreign worker program, and I don't agree with it at all. When my boyfriend took me to Florida, he took me to Orlando thinking that I would want to go to Disney World, and I didn't. And I told him why, and he, anyone would just assume, of course, what girl wouldn't want to go to Disneyland? I'm the girl that doesn't want to go to Disneyland. When Besame came out with their Snow White product, and now they've got all this Mickey Mouse stuff, it makes me want it. It makes me excited. I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about just the whole aesthetic of it. They just got it down. It looks beautiful. So Besame is the only brand who has made me actually want something Disney, where I'm not just like, want to give Disney two middle fingers. I mean, Besame, if they can do that to me, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, I'm excited about Besame products. The products I am not excited about. Emily Noel mentioned some of these ones as well, the products that she's not excited about. I'm not excited about Kat Von D, and it has nothing to do with her controversies or anything like this. When she first started making makeup, she had innovative things that knocked you out of the park. She had really unique stuff. And then her palette started just becoming like recycled colors. And then the quality started to go down. Hannah Louise Poston had mentioned that Kat Von D profits off of subculture. And yeah, she does. Lolita palette. I thought that was geared towards like gothic Lolita people in the pastel goth. That's very specific subculture. I am not part of those subcultures, so I didn't know if they appreciated that somebody made a product just for them, or if they were offended by it because they are a subculture and they don't want this mainstream makeup line Kat Von D profiting off their subculture. I don't know. I don't know how they feel because I'm not part of that subculture. But a subculture that I am a part of is the fetish community. I'm also a person who believes in celebrating sexuality. So I had a lot of mixed feelings when this fetish collection came out at the holiday time. When I looked at the colors, the first thing I noticed was that a lot of the things in it were fetishes. So I was like, okay, yeah, stiletto, rubber, latex, nylon, those are fetishes. If you look up the definition of fetish, an object or bodily part whose real or fascinated presence is psychologically necessary for the sexual gratification, and that is an object of fixation to the extent that it may interfere with the complete sexual expression. I actually know a lot of people who have legitimate fetishes. So what I had a problem with was that some of the things listed in this as her names for her things are not fetishes. Like dominatrix. That's not a fetish. That's a job title. You can actually do an Ausbildung for this in Germany and become a dominatrix. This is a profession. It's not a fetish. Submissive, that's not necessarily a fetish. That's a role. And safe word, that's not a fetish. My thing is that if you're going to make something like that, it needs to be correct. I could understand this as an artistic outlet if these are all parts of her own sexuality. It's a confusing thing. She had been profiting off of other people's subculture. Yeah, for sure. But it didn't hit me until this fetish palette kind of made me feel, oh, because then it's my community, my subculture, my sexuality that's getting profited on, and that made me feel kind of icky. Just made me feel yucky, and it made me not interested. So I feel like I'm not excited about her stuff anymore. Not only has the quality gone downhill, but to come out with something like this fetish palette, that might have seemed cute to her. Like if I had a fetish for feet and I opened up this fetish palette, I would expect to see that's one of the most common fetishes there is, and it's not in there. I'm not excited about Tarte. I hated the Shape Tape. Their aesthetic does not appeal to me. With these Sugar Rush brushes, I don't know people who would even like that aesthetic. Cactuses with big pop pink things on the end. That just doesn't do anything for me. Some of my favorite products are Tarte. Park Avenue Princess Bronzer, that's my bronzer. I'll buy that for as long as they make that. I love that stuff. I want to try their Timeless Smoothing Primer. Tati swears by it, and I've gotten large pores, and I would like to try that once I'm done with my stuff. Some of their palettes are a huge waste of space, and I hate that. And yeah, it's cute. It's cute to have something shaped like a little watermelon. When they move these shadows around in a non-typical way, yeah, it's different. But it's annoying because you see how many more shadows could have fit in there. Like in this watermelon palette, look how much plastic is there where there could have been eyeshadow. And this Sugar Rush palette, they could have put 3 more shadows in the middle. If they put them the proper direction, they could have had 3 full rows of eyeshadow instead of these 8 shadows. Or they could have put the 8 shadows together and had a smaller thing. But to me, I look at that and it's just annoying. Like this multi-mask thing, I would never buy that. Not only is the aesthetic but I just would think that is gross. That is just gonna be a gross mess. And the other thing I don't like about Tarte is that their YouTube channel is so stupid. Tarte doesn't excite me anymore. It doesn't excite me. It just kind of start off by, there are some Too Faced products that I think are great. One of them is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I love that stuff. I do have the Too Faced Just Peachy palette. I bought it when it was half off, and Emily Noel had raved about it, and the quality of the shadows is not as good as like my Urban Decay palette that I have, but they're still not bad. But the other products that Too Faced came out with are not for me. Like this palette here, this Natural Lust, that doesn't do a whole lot for me. It just looks boring, and I was surprised at that. And it's kind of too much. It's just a lot of brown. I have a friend who's really dark complected, and there's probably 4 or 5 shadows that she could use from there. The rest are just useless. The rest are highlighter. The rest are brow bone highlighters. Their Too Faced Born This Way foundation was complete garbage on my skin. This Hangover face primer was a total fail for me, and their 3-in-1 replenishing primer Hangover one. And I didn't like that they named that Hangover. For as kinky as I am, I'm the biggest prude you'll ever meet in your life. I haven't had a drink in over 20 years. I haven't been drunk since I was 23, and I haven't had a drink in almost that long. To see a product named Hangover, it automatically makes me not want to buy it. This, the Sweetie Pie Radiant Matte Bronzer Peaches and Cream collection, that just looks like a gross mess. It looks like a petri dish. It looks like it's just gonna grow bacteria. So no, I'm not excited about that. Another brand that a lot of people get so excited about this, and I just don't get it, is Bath and Body Works. I think their stuff is overpriced. In order to get a decent price, you have to buy a whole bunch of stuff, and the ingredients are not that good for you. It doesn't excite me. I just don't see the point of it. The aesthetic isn't appealing to me, and the ingredients aren't appealing to me. If I want a bunch of SLS to wash my hands with, I'm not going to pay $6.50 a bottle for it. I'm going to pay less than $1 a bottle for it. Yeah, you need that much SLS on your hands so that you can get their low quality, crappy lotion that's worse than the lotion that you get at a hotel. Another brand I am not excited about is Estee Lauder. They had one foundation that I liked, and they no longer have it, and it was the one that my sister liked too, and they don't sell it anymore. And their palettes and things are just boring. It's just, there's nothing exciting about Estee Lauder for me anymore. The only product I use that's an Estee Lauder product is the under eye corrector. That's it. Another brand that doesn't excite me, and I know in Emily's videos this was one of her brands that excited her, and when she was saying how much it excited her, I just could not relate. It's Bare Minerals. It just doesn't work for me. The original powder foundation, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but the whole experience turns me off of the brand. And so when they come out with things, I'm just like, don't feel like I'm in the category of people they're marketing to. So Bare Minerals doesn't excite me at all. There's one product by Almay that I love, which is these eye makeup remover wipes that are pre-soaked. I love those, especially for traveling. But everything else from Almay is boring, just like Estee Lauder, but below Estee Lauder. Sorry, Almay. Oh yeah, Almay does not excite me, and I know that's one that doesn't excite Emily either. And this last one is one that Emily and I both are not excited about, is Morphe. I've got a set of Morphe brushes, and they're okay. They're not the best brushes I've ever used, but they're, for the price point, they're good. I've never used their eyeshadows, but these palettes of all browns, different shades of many browns, and many cool tone browns, many warm tone browns, many different colors all these many things. To me, it's overwhelming. Yeah, if you're an artist, you can get a bunch of looks out of this, whatever. It just doesn't appeal to me. I feel like it is not for me. Okay, in a Canadian grocery store, you go in and you've got like 9 flavors of yogurt and 4 different brands, and around 9 flavors of yogurt in each brand. Okay, so Canadian grocery store, that's what you're looking at. Then you go to an American Walmart and they've got a wall of yogurt. I feel like Morphe is the wall of yogurt. Like, there's so much there in one Morphe palette. I don't even know where to start. It's just too much, and it makes me not interested. It's like my whole walking into IKEA experience. I want to quit before I even start. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. You get a lot of shadow for that price. They're $24 to $39 price point. You get a lot of shadows for that price. But my point is that I'm not excited about it because I just look at these palettes and I want to throw in the towel. Any more than like 12 colors in a palette, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's too many choices. I don't know what to do. How many brown looks do you need to come up with? There's like 11 or 12 shades in this one palette that are all the same to me. They look like they're the same. Maybe I don't see as many colors as other people do, but it looks like it's all just a slightly variation of the same exact color. And for me, I just need one of those. I don't need 12 of those, especially not in one palette. So anyway, those are the brands that excite me and the brands that don't. I loved watching Emily's video of this. That's why I made one of my own. So maybe you can share with me some of the brands that excite you and some of the brands that you do not get excited about. I would love that. Bye-bye.